Have you ever been caught off guard by the scent of the Asian restaurants in the airports? If so, and you feel drawn to those, stick around because we're going to be going over the top high protein, high fiber, and high fat foods you might find in your Asian restaurants in the airports that you're traveling through. Welcome back to Fitness Empowerment by Danny, a brand dedicated to flexible nutrition, macronutrient tracking, and a lifestyle without unhealthy extremes. Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're excited. My name is Danny, and I'm just so excited to have you here. We talk all about food, fitness, and travel on this channel, so if you like those three things, then make sure you click that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on another video with all of this valuable information. Okay, so if you've missed out on any recent events, don't pause the video just yet, but I've been vlogging my travels through Walt Disney World, and part of those travels include flying or driving into Orlando. Most of you, if you're not driving, you're flying in through the Orlando International Airport. And so I'm going to do a whole series on the top high protein, high fiber, and high fat foods that you can find at different restaurants that provide their nutrition facts in the Orlando airport. Now, if you're not traveling through Orlando, this could still apply to you because a lot of these restaurants you can find in a whole lot of other places. So let's dive right in. All right, the first restaurant we are going to hit up today is the Asian Chow Oriental Eatery. Within the Orlando airport, this restaurant is located between gates 100 and 129, airside 2, and it's open from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. So if you need some Asian food really early, and actually they carry breakfast too, and we'll get to that, you can stop at this restaurant. So a lot of times we're worried about high sodium or not enough fiber or high fat, and don't get me wrong, there are definitely those items, and you're probably going to find some MSG and some high sodium items here. But if you are hooked on going to an Asian restaurant, then here are the top high protein, high fiber, and high fat items that you will find on this menu for the different categories. Now, their complete menu is available online, and they do offer their nutrition facts as well. So I will link below the website as well as the PDF for all of their nutrition information. So if you just want to print that out and take a look at it and kind of go through everything, please feel free to do so. Just because I mentioned that a particular menu item is high fat, high protein, or high fiber does not necessarily mean that it is high in all of the other categories or low in any of the other categories either. This particular Asian Chow Oriental Eatery is located in 17 different states within the United States and 78 different locations within those 17 states. So you very well likely might run into this restaurant in somewhere other than the Orlando airport. Let's start with the highest fiber items. So there are a couple different categories that are on this menu. They've got vegetables, they've got chicken, they've got beef and pork, they've got some side items, they've got sushi, then they have breakfast entrees and breakfast sides. So I'm going to give you the top high protein item or items if they're kind of tied for each category. All right, so high fiber items. This is for a typical 5-ounce serving in the vegetable category. There's a tie for red potatoes and spicy tofu and tofu with vegetables. All three of those items have 3 grams of fiber. Now, with fiber, we're trying to get to about 14 grams per 1,000 calories that we intake per day. And honestly, I keep hearing a little bit more, somewhere between like 35 and 38 grams per day of fiber. So if you're not currently tracking anything, 3 grams of fiber from a side item is not terrible. So just keep that in mind as we keep going through these items. In the chicken, the 5-ounce serving highest fiber item is chicken and broccoli or spicy chicken with 2 grams of fiber. So again, not super high, but just letting you know. In the beef and pork section, a 5-ounce serving of beef with broccoli or black pepper beef, both of those have 2 grams of fiber in them. For the side items category, it varied in serving size information, but fried plantains with 4 grams of fiber was the highest fiber item in that section. For the sushi section, not every roll had full nutrition facts, but the vegetable roll, supreme combo, and green dragon roll had 6, 7, and 8 grams of fiber in them. Be careful though, sushi with the rice can have a whole lot of carbs, and if it's fried, it can have a whole lot of fat. So just because it's high in fiber, pick and choose your battles. Decide if that's for you or not. In the breakfast entrees category, the vegetable omelet with muffin had 6 grams of fiber, and in the breakfast sides category, the home fries had 6 grams of fiber. Let's move on to high protein items. So the highest protein item in the veggies category was spicy tofu with 17 grams of protein. The highest protein item in the chicken category, bourbon chicken with 35 grams, and actually I have on here chicken teriyaki with 45 grams. So 35 and 45 grams, those stood out among the rest as the two highest protein items on their menu. So both of those really high in protein, probably going to be one of my choices. In the beef and pork category, the barbecue pork had 37 grams of protein per one serving size. For the side category, fried rice and crab rangoon both tied for 10 grams of protein. For the sushi category, the supreme and special combo both had, well, 33 to 35 grams of protein per sushi roll or serving size. In the breakfast entrees category, a complete breakfast with sausage or a muffin, they both had 34 grams of protein, which is a ton of protein for breakfast, which is fabulous. And then in the breakfast sides category, sausage had 17 grams of protein. Moving on to high fat. And the reason I want to include high fat in all of these categories is because a lot of people are on a ketogenic lifestyle approach, meaning they are high fat, moderate protein, low to minimal carbs when it comes to your macronutrient profile. So I want to include those high fat items. That way you know if those are the items you might want to trend towards or to stay away from. So the high fat items in the veggie category, red potatoes is actually the highest fat item in the veggie category with 21 grams of fat. So if you're on that ketogenic lifestyle approach, this is not the option for you, as a potato is a starchy vegetable. In the chicken category, chicken teriyaki, while it was the highest protein, it is also the highest fat with 15 grams of fat. So 15 grams of fat and then 45 grams of protein. I mean, that's not a bad ratio by any means. You just have to pick and choose, like, is that something that you want? In the beef and pork category, beef sukiyaki, hopefully I said that right, has 19 grams of protein. In the sides category, crab rangoon and fried rice both had 22 and 23 grams of fat. In the sushi category, the green dragon roll has 32 grams of fat. So keep that in mind, even though it might be high fiber. Whoa, Django. Yeah, even though it might be high fiber, it is also very high fat. It's probably a fried roll if I had to guess, unless there's a lot of avocado in there. Who knows? You'll have to take a look and see. Breakfast entrees, the complete breakfast with bacon or a biscuit, 61 grams of fat. So I know breakfast sounds really great sometimes. That is more fat than I intake an entire day most of the time. All right, and then the breakfast sides category, this might not surprise you, but bacon and sausage are your highest fat items in the breakfast sides category with 41 and 42 grams of fat per side. So that's probably like 4 or 5 strips or slices of bacon or sausage. So keep that in mind. Now I want you to comment below after listening to these things and maybe taking a look at the PDF and the menu, and let me know, what would you get if you were traveling through the airport, you got that whiff of Asian food and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to stop here. Now that you have this information, what would you get? Let me know. I am on a pretty high protein, moderate carb, moderate to low fat approach with my bodybuilding style training and meal planning approach. So I would probably go with a high protein, moderate fat, moderate carb item, which for me in this case was, I think the bourbon chicken was probably the best option, being 35 grams of protein per serving, and it was only 6 grams of fat. I think it was 8 or 9 grams of carbohydrates, almost no fiber. I think it may have had 1 gram of fiber. So depending on the time of day and if I was planning to be active the rest of the day or sitting in the airplane, if I was going to be more active, I might get a side of plain white rice or like some noodles, just if I wanted the additional carbohydrates. If not, I might get a side of vegetables. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, let me know. There's so many restaurants in the Orlando airport that it's going to be fun to go through all of these. So I'm excited to hear your thoughts. Again, comment down below, let me know what you plan to get. And that is what I have for you today. So thank you so much for being here. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, comment down below, and click that subscribe button if you are not a subscriber to this channel just yet. And I can't wait to see you in the next video and talk about some more fit foodie tips. Bye. Be empowered to make a change in your life and take the next step on your health and fitness journey.